to subtract decimals. And the 5th grade standard for subtracting decimals says that students should be able to subtract decimals using drawings, using place value strategies, and that they should be able to compare those and relate those to this algorithm, which is the written method. So we're going to use a place value chart, and we're going to relate it, what we're doing, to the algorithm. The problem that we'll do and solve will be 9 7/10 minus 3 86/100. First, we need to set up our place value chart. There'll be 3 columns. We'll have the ones column, the tenths, and the hundreds. For our algorithm, I always like to write my problem vertically. So I'll write 9 7/10, and I'm subtracting 3. And as I write in what I'm going to subtract, I want to make sure that I line up my numbers by place value. So 3 ones would be under 9 ones, 8 tenths under 7 tenths, and 6 hundredths would be in the hundreds place. And since there's no hundreds in 9 7/10, I'm going to go ahead and put a 0 placeholder, which is fine because actually 9 7/10 is the same as 9 70 hundredths. Let's go ahead and let's start subtracting with our place value chart. To do so, though, we need to put in our number 9 7/10, and I'm going to use dots to represent my numbers, and so I'll put in 9 ones in the ones place. I always like to put my numbers in rows of 5 if possible. That way I can add them very quickly. It's easy to add by 5s. So I have 9 ones, 7 tenths. And we're going to subtract from that 3 86 hundredths. So we're going to start with the hundredths place, and we're going to take 6 hundredths away from 0 hundredths. Well, right away we should recognize that since we have no hundredths, we're going to need to decompose one of those tenths. I know that 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths. Or I could write it 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths. Those numbers are the same. I can actually put a 0 here and they look exactly the same. So I can take one of my tenths, decompose it, and into 10 hundredths. Let's do that with our algorithm. We have 7 tenths. We're going to take one of those tenths away. We're going to decompose it to 10 hundredths, and we'll add it to the 0 hundredths that we already have. So we will have 10 hundredths. Now we can subtract 6 hundredths. I'll cross off 6 hundredths. And in our algorithm, 10 hundredths minus 6 hundredths is 4 hundredths. In our place value chart, we're left with only 4 hundredths. Let's go ahead and put a line under our place value chart so it's easier to see what we're doing. Next, let's go to the tenths place. We need to take 8 tenths away from 6 tenths. Again, we don't have enough tenths, so we need to decompose. I know that 1/1 is equal to 10 tenths, or 1/1 is equal to 10 tenths. So I can take one of my ones, decompose it into 10 tenths. In the algorithm, let's do that. We had 9 ones, we took 1 away, so we were left with 8. We took that 1/1, we made it 10 tenths, added it to the 6 tenths, and now we have 16 tenths. So 16 tenths minus 8 tenths is 8 tenths. We could do that on the place value chart. Let's cross off 8 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when we count them up, we're left with 8 tenths. Now we can go to the ones place. We need to take 3 ones away from 8 ones, and that is 5 ones. So we can do the same thing on our place value chart, and we're left with 5 ones. Now in our place value chart, we've got a decimal there. We'll bring that decimal down. And in our algorithm, it's the same thing, that when after you're done subtracting, you can just drop the decimal down. So what was important to note when we're using our algorithm, or whether we're using the place value chart, is that we need to line up our digits by their place value. We can subtract. We might need to do some decomposing. And then once we're done subtracting, we can drop the decimal down.